Hey guys, Tim here with the Long Hair Gardener, and today I am going to be planting up my Amaryllis. I'm a little behind on this. There really isn't the perfect time to plant up Amaryllis. It just depends on when you want it to bloom. So I'm a little late, which means for me, they're probably going to bloom in January or even February, except for this guy right here. It is ready, beyond ready to be planted. And that's because this is a new bulb. So it is on a different growing schedule. Let me just sit this down. Than the other Amaryllis that I have from previous years, which are in these pots right here. So what I'm going to be doing is, like I said, I have a new one. I actually have 4 new Amaryllis and 5 old ones. And I typically put them in these terracotta pots, these smaller terracotta pots, and I do not want to have 9 of these in my apartment. So what I'm going to do, because Amaryllis don't mind being in small pots or being close together, I am going to put 3 bulbs in this size pot. So I have 3 of these pots, 9 bulbs altogether. That way they are all together, and I can easily sit them in my windowsill. It's basically to help me save some space, because I don't have a lot of space, especially with all of my plants that I have to bring in over the winter. So let's get started. I will need to knock off all of the dirt off of these pots that are bulbs, that's the word, bulbs that are currently in these pots, before I can put them in these new pots. So let's get started with that. That is the first step. So I'm just going to use this box here that these new Amaryllis came in, just so I can catch the dirt. And these are very dry. I have stopped watering these maybe the end of August, and they have kind of been in their dormant period now. It's mid-November, so they've been dormant all that time, and the roots look very nice. This is what we want. This is a very small bulb in comparison to this new bulb that I got. And the bulb size difference is fine. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm just going to go through here and knock off the dirt for the remainder of these bulbs. And then we're just going to put these in the ground with the new bulbs. You can see this one right here has a little new bulb, or a pup, so that's nice. Have a additional bulb growing here. These bulbs, they feel like they kind of shrunk a little bit, but I guess that's normal. This is the 3rd year I've had some of these bulbs. This is very dense root system here. So I think I'm just gonna let that one go, but I like that I have an additional bulb. You can tell these are very dry by all of the soil dust flying around here. Okay, another pup, which is a good sign. These roots look healthy. I'm actually gonna come in here. I was gonna not be rough with this one, but you know what? Let's just get some new soil in here. That way we're starting pretty fresh. Okay. The bulb is going to produce new roots anyway. All right, there we go. So if I wanted to, I could separate this pup and create a whole new plant, but I don't really see the need to do that. So here are my 5 bulbs from previous years. You can see varying sizes, but they all look healthy. I don't know which bulbs are which is fine. That doesn't really bother me. The new bulbs though, I'll just run through here. This one is called Mystica. So this is the one that's already sprouting. Trying to juggle these here. This one is Terracotta Star. This one is Temptation. And this one is Apple Blossom. So let me get the new pots up here and then we can get started. So I'm going to arrange these just not on knowing what color they are, but just kind of like on the size of the bulb, what fits the best. So these new bulbs are all very large and healthy. So we're gonna put these guys together. There we go. I think that's gonna look very nice. So this is the arrangement. Now I just have to go in here and let me come down here a little bit lower and just basically put some soil in these pots. So Amaryllis don't need a lot of pot space. That's why I'm putting the bulbs in a pot this size. They really just need maybe an inch around the bulb. So even this big one, I could put in this pot and that would actually be perfect for it. And they also don't mind being in groups like this. So I think this is gonna look really great. I do have different bulbs that are gonna be blooming at different times. Obviously this guy here is getting ready to bloom very soon. And that's fine. I kind of like that it's going to be like a cycle of various bloom times and different colors. So I just use a standard potting soil mix that you can get pretty much anywhere. And let me get this in here. You do want the bulb sticking out of the ground pretty far. We're actually not really, we're only really putting the ground up to this level on the bulb. So it's kind of just sitting in here rather than being planted in it. It's a little spot for it to rest and for the roots to soak up some of the moisture. This guy we're gonna have to position a little bit differently here. We'll put the baby pointing in the middle, and then who else do we have? This guy right here. There we are. And I'll just come in here, fill in, and then also kind of adjust as I'm going along. Maybe we want to turn the baby out this way. There we go. it almost feels wrong to be doing it this way, where the bulbs are sticking so far out of the ground, just because we're used to, like, if we're planting daffodils or hyacinths or something, we're putting them like 5 or 6 or more inches into the ground. But these guys, the bulbs need to be exposed like this. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the other 2 pots. So my Amaryllis, I take them outside in the summertime and they grow outside, and then I bring them in, like I said, maybe the end of August is when I stopped watering them, and then I brought them in, and then I just let the leaves naturally dry out and die back, and then I put them in the basement for a few months. So the Amaryllis, like a period, like a rest period of maybe, I forget what the number is, I want to say it was a pretty wide or big range, but I think 8 weeks is probably the good amount of time for these to have their rest period. And that's when you're not watering them and you're putting them somewhere that's cool and dark. And that is the dormant period. And now, so I have done that, maybe not as cool as they could have been, but they were in the basement, they were not being watered, so they were in their dormancy period. And now I am bringing them back out of dormancy by putting them in these pots, and I'm going to water them. There are always lots of noises here in Philadelphia. You probably just heard somebody's dog barking in the background. Not my dog, I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, there's always some kind of noise in the background. I have lived in Philadelphia for 24 years now, and honestly, I don't really notice, for the most part, all of the sounds that are happening in the background until I started making these videos and watching them and playing them back, and I then is when I noticed, oh my god, there's so much noise constantly happening in the background. But I guess after 24 years I've kind of just tuned it out, but it does become noticeable when I'm watching the videos. Alright, this is the final bulb. Final pot, rather, not bulb. This is like papery stuff that's on the outside. These look like giant onions. Here's the start of a little baby right here. And another one. Okay, this is good. The little papery skin that kind of looks like onion, I just leave that on for the most part. If there's a couple pieces that look like they're really loose and falling off, I will peel it away. But for the most part, you just want to let that go. It's not really hurting anything, and I think it protects the bulb too. So this pot is going to have 2 new bulbs. So they are humongous. It's a little tight, but I think we'll be fine. And then I'm going to squeeze this guy in here as well. Okay, so this is the final result, and I think this looks great. I'm very happy with this. I think this is going to look a lot better to have 3 pots of Amaryllis rather than having 9 of them. It's a good space saver as well. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to water these in, and I'm being very careful not to pour any water on top of the bulb, like down in here. Especially in this one, there's like a little well that could cause the bulb to rot. So I'm only moistening the soil. So I am potting these up outside, but it is way too cold for them to stay out here, so I am only doing that so I don't make a mess in my apartment. These are definitely plants that can come out in the summertime when it's warm, but they are definitely indoor plants when it's cold out. Not sure what the growing zone is off the top of my head, but they would for sure die here. Alright, and there you have it. How good do those look? This is, I love Amaryllis so much because they provide beautiful flowers and blooms during the winter when we're all probably in need of some color and some flowers. So mine will probably, like this one is probably going to bloom very soon, but all of these other ones that are definitely dormant will probably start blooming in January, which is perfectly fine for me. You could plan it so that they bloom during Christmas. They are typically flowers that you see at Christmas, but I really like and enjoy seeing these plants bloom after Christmas, when it's cold and it's January, maybe even into February. Just kind of itching, is that the word, is that the phrase, satisfying that itch, that's what it is, to have some flowers when it's the coldest outside. So that's everything. Thank you for watching today. I hope you liked this video, and I hope that you will also try some Amaryllis yourself. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next garden video. Have a great day.